I'm going to match the color of the CD, and I'll start with PALLETE red, ultramarine blue, and Hansa yellow opaque, titanium white to lighten that up. It looks too warm, so I'll add more ultramarine blue to it. So this is titanium white. It looks too purple, so I'll add some yellow into there. And I think it needs more blue. So I'm going to work on the background a little bit, just to get this edge of the CD defined. This top part needs to be a little darker. This section needs to get lighter. There's a highlight that goes along the edge of the CD, and it's going to be tricky to get this in here. The gray background here has to be a little bit darker at the bottom. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this jigsaw, and this is ultramarine blue, PALLETE red, and Hansa yellow opaque. It's much too dark, so I'll add some titanium white to it. It needs to go more blue and lighter. It looks like the jigsaw has more yellow in it. More white in this part. So this part looks pretty good. I think maybe I'll work on the shadow area and then fill in the background too. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the colors of this glass of water. This is ultramarine blue and a little bit of PALLETE red and some titanium white. And then this highlight right here is much lighter. And then the edge of the glass goes about right here. I think I'll work on some of these reflections up here. The color, that blue needs to get darker. I think I'll put some of the background color in. It'll be easier to work on the edge of the glass once I have a color next to it. So this is ultramarine blue and titanium white, a little bit of PALLETE red. The color is kind of bluish purple. Just trying to soften this up a little bit. I think this blue background needs more paint on it. It's a little streaky. I think that looks pretty good. If you want to learn how to mix colors like this, check out my course where I share my strategies. I cover the materials I use, including the colors and the paintbrushes. I'm going to match the color of this apple. This is PALLETE red. It's too bright, so I'll add some ultramarine blue to it. Titanium white. More ultramarine blue. A little bit of yellow. Take a little more blue on the top to make it darker. That looks pretty good. Maybe I'll work on the background. That looks pretty good. Alright, so this is ultramarine blue, PALLETE red. I could have more yellow in here and then more blue. This is too dark, so I had some titanium white in there. I could see that it needs to go cooler, so there's more blue. Fill that in. I think it needs more yellow. That's probably too much, but it's okay. Spread it out to this area over here. I think a little bit more blue. The right side needs to go lighter and more blue or red. So I'm just going to soften this area up. And then the center part. For the background, I'll just use phthalo blue, quinacridone magenta, and some yellow. I'm going to match the colors of this pear and try and create the illusion that this paper disappears into the background. So this is PALLETE red. This needs to go darker, so I'll add ultramarine blue to it. So the pear is mostly yellow, and I'll use Hansa yellow opaque. It's got a green tint to it. Take a little bit more white, put a little more phthalo blue in there. That combined with the red should make it a darker color. Fix this edge here with this soft brush. I can soften these up. I'm just trying to put a little bit of the color in there. It looks pretty good. If you want to support my channel, there's an option to purchase a super thanks right below the video. You can choose the amount that you want and your comment will be highlighted with a color. I'm going to match the colors of this light bulb so that the paper blends in with the background. Start with titanium white, ultramarine blue, a little bit of Hansa yellow opaque, and pile red. I'm trying to make a light gray color, a little bit more white and some blue. Just try to fill this in a little bit. I think it's a little too green. I'll add some red in there. I think the edge of the bulb is about there. I think I'll put in the background just so I can define the left side of the edge of the bulb. This is ultramarine blue. Pile red just to make it darker, and maybe a touch of yellow. The red and yellow make an orange, which will neutralize the blue a little bit. I think the bottom has to go whiter. There's like a dark strip that goes along the edge. It's a little too blue. I'll add some red and yellow in here. I think I went a little too dark on some of these. I'm gonna mix some white in here. I think I'm seeing a little more red in there. Try and get this highlight with a smaller brush. There's a subtle line that goes right through here. I think this edge needs to come in just a little bit. The shape of this bulb's hard to get right because it's so symmetrical. And then there's like a little speck right here. This background really isn't covering that well. I'm just trying to clean it up. That's looking better. That looks pretty good. I'm going to match the color of this bottle. To me it looks like ultramarine blue and a little bit of phthalo blue, titanium white. It looks more purple, so I'll add some quinacridone magenta in there. I think it needs to go a little darker, so I'll add some more blue. Now this lighter area is just more white. Then the outer edge is the same as the other edge I just did. I think the blue on the right side needs to go darker. I gotta straighten out that edge. Maybe just a little blending on this side here, make this a little bit smoother. I think that's it right there. I'm going to match the colors of this mirror so that the paper blends into the background. This is Hansa yellow opaque and pile red. A little bit of ultramarine blue and titanium white. Needs more blue, more red, and some yellow. It's not blue enough, and my color is too dark, so I'll lighten it up. Still needs more blue and some white. So the background is mostly ultramarine blue, titanium white. I'm going to come back to that background and I'll start working on the edge of the mirror. There's like a shadow area right here, very fine line. It goes up to about here. I'm gonna try and get rid of the streaks in this background. So this mirror has to go lighter. So I'll have to probably mix some of this up again. Needs more red. It's too blue, I'll add more red and more white. There's more yellow in there, maybe a touch of red too. It's not too bad, I think maybe a little bit lighter. Just trying to put some finishing touches on the edge of this mirror. That looks pretty good.